I was probably the only one crying. Like, I don't know how to handle myself. Like, I was the one always breaking down. A journey begins. Welcome to the Traveler's Lounge, where your journey is a story to share. This channel is dedicated towards exploring different cultures and empowering individuals as we navigate life abroad. So sit back and enjoy. Don't forget to give this video a big like and subscribe to continue to receive amazing content. So get seated and you are in for a great one. 3, 2, 1, level up. Level up. Hello everyone, welcome back to the Travelers Lounge. In today's episode, we're going to be talking about something interesting and also juicy because there's a lot of story times associated with it. And even though I'm smiling right now, this episode is titled Things That Made Me Cry as an International Student. Now, I will not be able to list all the things because I've cried so much, but you just gotta keep the smile regardless. But just some major things that I remember that have, brought some tears to my eyes and made me either silently cry or like wailing, that kind of cry. But let's get right into it. So one of the first things is my first Christmas alone. Now, why is that something that would make me cry? So for reference, in America, Christmas is a really big deal. Like, when I say a really big deal, I mean a really big deal. Like, Americans celebrate Christmas for like a month and a half non-stop. You see the gift giving, you see the music, you see the cookie decorating, you see the lights, the festivals, the family gatherings. It's a lot. Like, it's in your face that it's Christmas. The music, everything. You get into a car, the radio, you're hearing jingle. Sorry, excuse my voice. Gifts, whether that's in school or whether that's at work, wherever you are, it's like, oh, you see this little Christmas present, here's a Christmas gift for you, and I'm like, yeah, basically to say it's in your face. And when I grew up in Uganda, yeah, Christmas was a celebration, but for all I know, it wasn't a whole month and a half celebration. It was just, go to church, wear your Christmas outfit, come back and eat a quick dinner, and then that's it. But here it's like really magnified in your face. And so just all those things going on, feeling like you would want to enjoy and celebrate that with family, but you don't have any family to celebrate it with, combined with the cold winter. And add that on top, seasonal depressive disorder, it's a recipe for a lot of tears. So definitely it was just a lot of missing out emotions that I got while having my first Christmas here in America. But I survived. It took me, not gonna lie, it took me like 5 more Christmases. Is that even a word? Christmases. Can you have Christmases? It took me like 5 more Christmas celebrations, like 5 consecutive years, or not even, let me not say consecutive years, but 5 years of different Christmas celebrations before I could actually be fully comfortable and happy and filled with joy on Christmas Day, rather than it being sad for me in a depressive moment. But yeah, that was really sad. And I would say that if this is you and you're watching this video and you're going to have your first Christmas in America, or you've had like really sad Christmases, whether it's because you are not with your family or whether because you're not with loved ones, friends, or things like that, I just want you to know that you have the ability to create your own joy. you have the choice to be happy. And that's something that I learned, that I have the ability to be happy. I have the ability to create my own happiness and to create my own joy. And so I just decided to find the joy in the little things. Like, okay, yeah, like, maybe I'm not with my family, but one or two friends thought about me and we exchanged gifts on Christmas, and that's something to like. And slowly I started liking the Christmas music. It wasn't getting irritating. Yeah, so that was one of the things. The second thing even thinking about it right now is like to me is losing my 4.0 GPA streak. If anyone has almost graduated with a 4.0 GPA and lost their streak, they know what I'm talking about. It's like, you're cruising with all A's and everything, thinking, yeah, it's gonna be perfect. And, and if you are a top perfectionist like me, even worse, like, you're like, perfectionist, everything's gonna be perfect here and here, perfect 4.0, yes, 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 yes. Until the fateful biology lab course that I took. Yeah. Fateful biology lab course. The thing about this lab is that the professor was not budging. I asked for extra credit. I did everything I could, but that man was not budging. And he was also different. Those professors that are different. He was different in the way that he graded and in the way that he tested. It was not about what you knew. It was about what he knew, and if you are answering according to what he knew, not what you know or what you've read. It's about what he knows and you answering to what he knows. And it was honestly very like heartbreaking, because number one, like, I was so like, wow, it wasn't even a full lecture class that did this to me. It wasn't even a difficult, I don't know, like, like calculus or something like that. It was a simple 1 credit biology lab that did this, that caused me to lose my streak. And as a super high perfectionist, that was like really heartbreaking. I wouldn't say that like I cried a lot, but I definitely shed a tear mourning the loss and the death of my perfect 4.0 GPA. So yeah, that was definitely sad. But I want you to know that your all is know your grades. I mean, I heard that a lot in undergrad, but actually coming out of college and realizing that everything about you is not your grades and your academics made it really sink. And I was like, oh yeah, they were in line when they said that. They weren't just trying to encourage me and stop me from crying when they said that. It's actually true. Like, everything about your life is not academics and grades, and everything about your success too isn't all about academics and grades. There's a whole lot more component that takes place, and you definitely shouldn't make it your identity, because there's more to you. There's more to you than grades. There's more to you than that biology lab by Professor. There's more. Okay. There's more out there. Other thing that made me cry was, I would say, like, failing a class. Yeah, I know I just ended with losing my 4.0 GPA. Now, failing class requires a whole story time. Because trust me, it's a whole, like, it's given like 4-part story time about failing this class. And I was honestly not in the right mental state during that season or that semester that I was taking the class. I wasn't even trying. Like, when I say I wasn't even trying, I literally was not trying with tests, with homework, because I was just so down. I mean, I'll talk about that if I'm able to in another episode, but that was one of the things that crushed me, because not only was it crushing that I failed and I started thinking that I was a failure and everything like that, but also the fact that I couldn't do anything about it. Like the helpless state that I was in, because like I said, I knew I was going to fail that class because I was just in a very bad mental state that I couldn't do anything. And I was even more mad with myself at being at that mental state that caused me to fail the class. So it was like a double, triple whammy, or however you say it. And so that was really, really sad. I think that time was one of the most defining moments in my life. Yeah, I would say my life, because it taught me a lot about myself as an individual. It taught me a lot about, yeah, a lot about myself. I think that I have to tell this in it's another story time, but I always use that whenever I tell that story to some people who are fortunate to hear the story. I end up concluding with, again, like I said, you can't make failure your identity. You can't make great your identity, that there is more to you. I truly learned that there was more to me, and you cannot continue to blame yourself. You have to forgive yourself regardless of what happened. And regardless of that failure, there will be so many other things that you will succeed in. And if I could go back and tell Busola, who was like devastated the moment she saw that D as her final grade, that she was in disbelief. I thought it was a dream. I argued it out with the dean, and you know what? Let me stop. Let me not give you a insider's clue to the story time, but I would say that once again that grace is not your all. There's really more to you, way more to you. You can't make failure your identity. You would have so many other successes after that. You can't let it limit you. You can't let it put you down. And you just have to keep going. You just have to keep going. And another one of the vulnerable moments that I had that, really brought a lot of tears to my eyes, not just a teardrop, but a lot of tears to my eyes, was just going through multiple financial situations in school, from to like heavy heavy tuition balances, thousands and tens of thousands of dollars in tuition debts, and sometimes not being able to register for classes, sometimes not even knowing if I would start that semester, and missing some classes the first couple weeks in school, and my status being at risk and everything like that. Like, that was a very trying moment. Like I said, that's also a whole other story time. That one has like 10 to 20 parts to it. But I thank God. I'm a believer, and I thank God that God brought me out of it, and God taught me about faith. That was one of the strengthening times in my life. I look back and I'm like, how did I even have the strength to go through this? Because it was not me who had the strength to go through it. It was hard. It was really hard. But I thank God for strength. I thank God for the ability to keep going regardless, to keep pushing, to keep moving. And I know that studying in another country is expensive for most people. And if you're out here and you're probably struggling with something related to tuition or something related to finances abroad, I want you to know that it will pass. It will pass soon, and there will definitely be a testimony out of it, and God will come through for you. He always does. He's done it before. He's gonna do it again. We don't know how, and sometimes we can think it's this way or that way, but he ends up even showing up in an even bigger way, which is what my case was. But yeah, it will pass soon. And so I hope you enjoyed this video on the different things that made me cry, and I hope it's been encouraging in some way. You've probably got some laughs in, but it's also encouraging to know that you are not alone. Like, it's okay to cry, it's okay to have a hard time, because you are in a whole other country that you're not familiar with. And something that, like, when I was in college, I definitely thought that I was the only one in the sense that I felt alone. Like I felt like I was probably the only one crying. Like I don't know how to handle myself. Like I was the one always breaking down. Until one day, I was going up my dorm room, and usually in the dorm room, like, there are different floors and everything, but there's typically like a back staircase, like a back door staircase. And I was going through the back door staircase, and I saw this girl on the stairs. She was on the phone and she was crying, like really crying, like and she was not even international, she was American, like crying, like really really crying. And the other day and another day too, I saw someone in, like, sitting on one of the benches, and they were just like they're crying. And I don't know the reason why they were crying, or what the situation was, but just seeing that vulnerability made me know that, okay, Busola, it's not that you're weak or something. Like, college is hard. Like, there's so many components that make it hard. There's so many things, like life is moving on, like you're adulting and all of that. There's so many situations and challenges. It's okay to cry, like you're not alone in this. And so I realized that, oh, okay, I'm not alone. And even like it even made me more open to eventually like talking about, like, crashing out and breaking out to some of the people that were close to me. So yeah, I hope, like, talking about this has been engaging. It has been encouraging in one way or the other to know that you're not alone. It's hard out here, but remember the reason why this was your dream, to move abroad, to study abroad, and know that you would come through, and you'll come through stronger and more resilient. Thank you so much for watching this episode. See you in the next episode. Bye.